I see that your personal life, let's say your personal life is not up to the standard that you want your business to be up to. How do I sit here and invest with you and I can't see that your credit, your movements don't equal, or I can see that your movements don't equal exactly what you're saying you're going to do when it comes to something that you can create over and over again. So a business, I can have 4 or 5 businesses. It's only one me. If I'm not concerned about me, how am I going to be concerned about the business that operates and make sure that the number of people, hopefully eventually over time, your business foundation is strong enough where you're able to employ a number of people. So if you have a business and the purpose is to employ people, and then you turn around and you can't maintain your own personal life, it's difficult for me as a partner or a person who wants to invest in you to do so if I'm able to see how your personal life is going. Your drive and your hustle for your personal, whether you have children or not. Hey everyone, welcome to Subtle Blessing. So today I want to talk about credit. And one of the biggest things that we found as Black entrepreneurs that it is difficult for us to actually obtain credit or capital. The way that most business owners obtain capital for the purpose of their growth would be through traditional institutions. They receive that capital. They receive access to that capital through their credit. So let's find out how we can actually leverage our credit to be able to receive the access as well. First thing I want to talk about, which is in no particular order, is the credit history. Your credit history is a breakdown or a record, whether it be individual or whether it be business, of your borrowing and repayment activity, right? So it gives a institution a overview of what your credit worthiness is, your financial responsibilities, and your ability to manage debt. Your credit history basically is created through your interactions with institutions like banks, credit card companies, or lenders. So why is credit history important? Well, credit history affects a number of things for the success of your business and building a strong foundation that we talk about all the time. Your ability to access capital is directly in correlation with your credit history. A strong credit history is essential to be able to obtain loans, lines of credit, and even have investment capital for your startup or to grow or expand your business. So if you want to be able to grow, you have to have funds. And your credit history gives lenders a understanding of your ability to manage debt, your repayment ability. It shows them a number of things in a numeric way so that they can judge it in a numeric way. So it's a certain percentage of your actual credit score itself, that number, what it makes up. It's a certain percentage of that credit score. And I believe it's 15% to be exact. So your credit score is a very important tool as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. So there are a number of places you can go to actually find out what your credit score is. One of the places you can go is a website called D&B, or Dun and Bradstreet. Dun and Bradstreet is a institution that judges business credit. Business credit is different from personal credit. You are an individual, so it's judged or it's measured separately than your actual personal credit. So when it comes to the Dun and Bradstreet, I've used my Dun and Bradstreet with government jobs as well as jobs in the personal sector. they are used to measure your credit worthiness. So Dun and Bradstreet is a place you can, or is a platform that measures business credit. The other one that I like to use is I use Experian. Experian is also good for small businesses. It offers a number of packets to break down. So they'll break a packet down for you of your financial and your credit worthiness and all that good stuff to be able to hand to lenders. So Experian is a good place, in my opinion, to be able to go and get those things done. So as a business owner, having an understanding of your business credit is very important, but also having an understanding of your personal credit is very important. So, a lot of people who are business owners don't have a clear understanding of where they stand in their personal credit. So, it's very important for you to have that as well. So, annualcreditreport.com gives you a free credit report annually. So, every year you should be able to know exactly what your credit standing is at least once a year, so that you can be able to evaluate the direction of your business, because as a startup or a small business, you will need to do what is called be a PG, or a personal guarantor, for a lot of things to actually get your business off the ground. Your personal credit does matter when it comes to you and having a business starting. So you want to start off well, you want to start off right, and make sure that the actual um, the actual business foundation is strong. So let's go to annualcreditreport.com and look up our credit report every year as often as possible if you can. Another reason why it's important for us to understand our credit history is because our relationship with suppliers, to be able to have meaningful and maintain good relationships with suppliers, they want you to have a good credit history. So if you have a decent relationship with a supplier or a vendor, right? A supplier or a vendor could give you favorable prices and rates because they can see that you are able and willing to pay your bills. Or they can offer you trade credits based on your credit worthiness. It depends on what you do, right? So you can use your credit history to leverage with your suppliers. This means that you can acquire inventory or raw materials to create the inventory, just based off of your ability to maintain your credit history. So another thing that's important when it comes to who you are and your history and your credit is collaborations and working in partnership. People who get into business with you want to know that you are able to take care of business. Your ability to pay these bills. If I'm a partner with you and you're in business with me, and I see that your personal life, let's say your personal life is not up to the standard that you want your business to be up to. How do I sit here and invest with you and I can't see that your credit your movements don't equal, or I can see that your movements don't equal exactly what you're saying you want to do when it comes to something that you can create over and over again. So a business, I can have 4 or 5 businesses. This is only one me. If I'm not concerned about me, how am I going to be concerned about a business that operates and makes sure that a number of people, hopefully eventually over time, your business foundation is strong enough where you're able to employ a number of people. So if you have a business and the purpose is to employ people, and then you turn around and you can't maintain your own personal life, it's difficult for me as a partner or a person who wants to invest in you to do so if I'm able to see how your personal life is going. Your drive and your hustle for your personal, whether you have children or not, it correlates over into your business. So if I'm sitting here and I'm trying to invest with you and I can't see that you are invested in yourself, I'm not going to do that. But that's the same thing. That's basically your credit history. That is a understanding for my own personal But a business institution can't or won't know your personal life like that. So they need a numeric understanding. So in your numeric understanding as a personal guarantor, you need to have a good standing because it's important for them to know that you are able and capable. So for me, I turned around and I changed the way that I do a lot of stuff. I changed the way that I completely live my life because it's important for me to be worthy of what I'm asking for. So when I go to my partners, because I have partnerships and I have collaborations that I value a great deal because I value myself enough to make sure whoever I'm getting into business with is worthy of my business as well as making sure that I am worthy of theirs. So you have a number of people who want to partner with you, right? That is a light bulb moment for investors. That is a place where people will stop and listen. They will stop and they will say, okay, so what do you have going on where everybody else said that it was worth their time? What do you have going on where everybody else said that it was worth the time to listen? So you having a decent credit history puts you in so many doors. A lot of people don't understand having experience in a space is not necessarily the only thing that will get you in the door. You are a asset or a tool, and there's so many different um, ways you can use yourself as a tool within the entrepreneurial community. You are not your company. So you could take this same tool and use it over and over again for different spaces. Although you are not your company is made up of you. So if you have decent credit and somebody else has money and somebody else has space, time, whatever is needed to be able to get to the other side of that. So I may know people, I may have network, right? You may have finances, right? And I may have credit, right? So if I have these three elements, but like there's a few more that are probably needed to get, depends on the industry you're in and where you're trying to go. But there may be other things that I need. Like, for example, I'm in the construction space. I do construction management. I provide people with jobs and opportunities to be able to do things in construction. Licensed contractor that I am qualifying under as a qualifying agent to do construction, but I don't have a license. But his willingness to collaborate with me has happened over a period of time, and he understands what I call my credit history. I have a decent credit history with this person, so they are willing to actually put their license on the line because in the end, that's what you're asking institutions and lenders and credit companies to do is just put their resources on the line to be able to allow you to use them to leverage them. So his willingness to allow me to leverage his information was based off of my credit history. And it is not the same credit history that you may see on Duns and Brad or you may see on Experian. My credit history is based off of my personal life and how I've driven that, and it has correlated over into my business life. It's not only based off of the numeric number that they have decided to put on us to determine whether or not we deserve credit. So a lot of times black people don't know how to measure their credit scores. A lot of times black people don't understand why credit is important and what it's used for. They don't even understand that it's a tool. So, and that old saying is if you put it in the book, we won't find it. So, although this is readily available information like annualcreditreport.com, I never knew that annualcreditreport.com was available until someone outside of a school, outside of any kind of educational institution, inform me that I can get my credit score every year, because I didn't understand how to even I did couldn't afford at the time. It was $9.99, I think it was. I couldn't afford the credit score pulling, and not only could I not afford the credit score pulling process every month, I didn't even understand what it meant. I didn't understand how to read it until I had a a black entrepreneur sit down, and I think I was online, and they literally broke down a understanding of the credit what credit really was and the percentage of it. And through them breaking that down, it helped me learn what I needed to do to rebuild my credit, because I had fucked my credit up. My credit was so fucked up. I went to college. I got credit cards. They were throwing credit cards at me, and I took them. I took every last card, and not having a understanding of what credit is, because growing up in a black family, credit is not looked at as a good thing. It's not looked at as a tool. At least not in my household, it wasn't. My credit was always looked at as something that's going to hurt you and put you in debt. Is going to set you back. That's how credit was looked. Credit is looked at as something that will put you in a bad position. And I had to figure out, most people feel like that in my community, because one, they don't understand what it is, because it's just not something that's taught in schools. It's not something that's made. It's real secretive. It's something that's necessary, and it's something that we all have to use, but it's real secretive. And if I can keep information from you, I can keep you from knowing how to use it. I can keep you down, and I can keep you oppressed. But it is very important for you to understand the tools that are being offered to you that are not being taught to you. So I'm going to tell you what they are. It helps you by giving you access to capital. Accessing capital is so important for the growth and expansion. It's essential for your business. You being able to access capital through loans, lines of credit, investments, it gives you, as a startup or a person who's just trying to expand your business, it gives you the ability to get anything you need in the sense of finances, whether it's employing people, inventory, whatever that may be, you need it, because the growth and expansion of your business is the next thing that your credit history affects. If you are not able to actually go out there and get the employees, if you're not able to get the investors, or the employees, the inventory, the raw material that you need to create the product, to expand the business, to travel, to go and create and do this event, whatever. If you are not able to grow and expand your business, you're dead in the water. So right now, I have a issue with staffing. So in situations where having capital would have been beneficial to me to be able to fund the job that I'm currently working. If I'm able to fund the job that I'm currently working, I can quickly pay the people, move to the next job. Now, I may still have to wait for the government, for example. Government pays usually once a month, and they don't pay up front. But if I have the capital, which I am able to obtain through my credit, which usually is given to me when it comes to my rates and it comes to the amount, is usually judged off of my credit history. So to be able to operate and get to the next job, I need to have decent credit history that helps my growth and my expansion. The other way that it helps is my supplier relationships. My suppliers can credit me inventory, raw materials. They can offer wonderful rates and even do trade offers depending on the industry to help you grow your business and expand. If you have raw materials sitting there, you don't have to pay that back for a certain period of time, net 30, net 45, net 60, net 90. You ain't have to pay that back for a period of time. Like Built, for example. Built is a construction uh, factorer. I like their construction factorer that gives a loan for 120 days to qualifying contractors. You do have to qualify for the loan, hence business credit or all that good stuff. but they will give you credit based off of the contract you obtain. Mobilization loan of 500,000 or more. If you have a contract for 500,000 or more, built will you know built. Say if you have a contract for 500,000 or more, Built will actually fund that contract. When it comes to your material costs, they will fund your material costs for up to 150. No, they will fund your material costs for up to 120 days. Credit and traditional credit, but your credit history is important in all aspects. Who you are as a operator of your business is important, and your credit may be, when it comes to the actual numeric number, may be this, but this number should be a reflection of who you are and how you handle business as a person. So if you are a person who handles business in general, your credit should reflect that. So my suggestion is to focus on your personal as well as build your business. So eat right, get up on time, exercise, care about yourself in whatever way, form, or fashion that you need to, because you need to put that same energy into the success of your company. And if it's a natural flow of life, if it's something that you do on a regular basis, then by all means, it shouldn't do anything but correlate and go, and move to the other side in a sense of just how you carry your day out. So that collaboration, your ability to collaborate, your credit history is important when it comes to your ability to collaborate. So the importance of your personal credit and how important it is for you as a business owner, because you will need, especially starting off, to be a PG on most things where you're going to be getting loans or lines of credit. So ways that you can build your personal credit is to pay your bills on time. Pay your bills on time to make sure that you and start paying your bills on time. Credit is rebuildable. Build your credit. Build it. It goes down. It goes up. It's a tool. So it's not, oh my God, my credit is great. It's going to be great forever. No, you have to do things to maintain that credit score. So pay your bills on time, right? Understand and manage your credit utilization. Your credit utilization is critical. Understand that and manage it. Monitor your credit report monthly at least. Credit Karma offers you a base credit report on a daily basis. I use that credit report to understand what my monthly credit report is probably going to come out to be, where, what did I do? What didn't I do? To be able to ensure my bills are paid, just stay on top of it. So I use Credit Karma as a base because they give that to you every day. And yes, you can pay, of course, for credit services, but these are less expensive ways to monitor. So you can use a mixture of Credit Karma. You can use a mixture of Credit Karma and the annual credit report to be able to have some kind of measurement, because a lot of people don't even do that. So the first year you have Credit Karma that you're using on a daily basis. And in my opinion, Credit Karma is not the most accurate, but it is better than nothing. And it's getting better. Credit Karma is getting pretty good at a lot of stuff. But I use Credit Karma. And if you don't have the ability or don't feel like it's in your budget to pay that monthly fee, I believe I want to say Equifax offers free credit reports now after that whole incident, I believe. Don't get me wrong. It's either Equifax or Experian, one or the other. But check that out. But I use Credit Karma and annual credit report as a combination so that I can understand the score and what's on it. Report inquiries can be very negative on your credit. I know. I did it. I had to learn that the hard way. I thought, okay, so inquiries are actually not a large percentage of your credit score. But when your credit score ain't shit in the first place, 5% matter. 5% matter, especially because I didn't have very much of my credit when I was learning this. Okay, so when I was learning this, how much it matters, I didn't have very much on my credit in general. So to it hurt. It hurt. Um, limit the amount of look. So limit. Be strategic in your movements, and in everything that you do, have a reason when it comes to your business. So if I'm going to personally be applying for credit cards, I understand now that applying for credit cards as well as after I get it. So be understanding of how inquiries affect your credit, and try not to do too many of them because it can be very, very harmful. You don't think it will be. It's a small percentage. Once you find out what it is, you're like, oh no, that's only 5%. 5% matters. 5% can be the difference between an A and a B. 5% can be the difference between A and a B, a pass and a fail. 5%. So understand your credit score. To be an entrepreneur in the Black community, credit is important. It's essential. It allows us to have access to things that we normally wouldn't have access to. It allows us to grow and strengthen the community. It allows us to bring opportunity to people who probably wouldn't have opportunity any other way. So your credit history is important for the growth and expansion of your business. It's important to be able to strengthen the community. Your credit history gives us credit. So take care of it. Peace.